September 27th, 2021. The first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. These chairs.
I was expecting you to go. This would be the comic relief for tonight. Martina.
Next is the approval of the minutes for the August 30th meeting. Are there any additions, corrections?
I'll move to approve them.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the minutes for the August 30th meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes. Minutes are approved. Next is citizens' comments. We ask all those citizens that are sitting out in the here at Town Hall, if you have any comments, wish to make any comments on anything that we are not going to be talking about this evening, you may make a comment. Is there anyone out there who wants to make a comment? I'm going to ask one thing. Have we had any comments emailed or sent in?
I've not received anything related to this agenda items.
Okay. Or from the last time?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Then we'll go to the planners. As you know, the Carroll County is not sending their planners out. We have a memorandum here from the Department of Planning, and I'll read it. It's from Hannah, who is our representative. Below are the updates from the county for your Planning Commission meeting on September 27th, 2021. I can't, that's my,
Please silence your.
sorry, I can't. Where were we?
You're starting off.
Residential text amendment was forwarded to the Board of County Commissioners at the September 21st Planning Commission meeting. Work session with the BCC will begin on October discussing the text as well as 2 rezonings in the Eldersburg area, and that information can be found on the website www.carrollrezoning.org. Ongoing work with the countywide transportation master plan. A second survey will be crafted and available to the public in the coming months. Number 3, the triennial update for the 2019 Carroll County master plan is underway. The department will reach out to town staff, if not done already, to set up meetings to go over the town's current chapters and maps for updating. And then it just says, thank you for taking the time to read this at the meeting. Do we have anything from the Frederick County planner?
I've not received anything by email. I know he's still working on the Livable Frederick and the, oh my gosh, what's the other one right there?
Sugarloaf.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sugarloaf project.
Okay.
We will reach out to him next month and see if we can get him to either be in person or give us their written up.
Yeah, we've asked him to come at least every couple months so we can update. I know he's busy, but.
John, what would be useful is to request of both Hannah and also Frederick to anticipate and give us some projection of when, for example, they think that the Carroll County-wide transportation master plan will be at a point where they can start to share some things with us. The same thing with regard to the triennial update of the Carroll County master plan. When do they feel like they'll have some substance to really share with us?
I'll ask Anna that tomorrow.
Before we go on, also the Carroll County the commissioners are going to hear the two plans for the Harrison last year. I think it's, when did you say that was, Thursday?
Thursday, the 29th?
Ninth.
That's the 30th.
30th, I believe it's 9 o'clock in the morning.
Wasn't sure again if that was virtual or in person. It seemed to be in person from what I was reading.
I didn't really read it, but the plans are on the agenda online for the Carroll County Commissioners, if anyone's interested in seeing the site plans.
Is that gonna be cable cast?
That I have no clue. It's on the agenda, so I'm taking it as their normal procedures for the agenda. So might be cable cast.
Is,
The Carroll County doesn't do cable cast, but they do broadcast it on their website. So you can go to Carroll County's website.
Well, just so, you know, is there a virtual opportunity
Yep.
to take it in without being
Yeah.
physically there?
Yeah, they'll feed. But
is anyone from the town going to be online or whatever to speak to those?
not to my knowledge. I mentioned it to Council President Poyer. He said to see if I could speak for the town, but he said I could pretty much just say I'm a representative. I'm an elected councilman, but I'm speaking for myself if I so choose to, or make myself known that at least somebody at the town is listening to them. But I'm not sure what I can say without being given permission from the town to say something. So the
Well,
best
you
I
can
could
say
probably.
that 27 is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, or something. So it's like anything I would say would be my own personal opinion instead of the town, unfortunately. So, but look at the plans because they're interesting, to say the least, the site plan drawings.
I tried clicking on the link that you sent me and I couldn't get to it.
It was a dead link. Just go to the Carroll County's, the Board of Commissioners agenda.
Okay.
I found that the site plan for St. John's is lacking detail. They say, 11 acres for single-family homes, but doesn't say what the zoning is. Same thing with like the 15 acres of townhomes and the 46 acres of single-family homes also. It's very lacking in the zoning and the density.
So they haven't changed the zoning, though, have they? Isn't it?
Not to my
resident-
knowledge.
So it's residential.
It's residential. It always has been residential.
But it doesn't say what the density is. But it does, St. John's does have a commercial aspect in the drawing. Then the Fry Builders for this, let me see, the senior housing.
It's
is
555 units. 555 units.
No, well, actually, that one, it's got on the site plan like 1,200 units. On that,
Okay.
on the site plan for that one. If you look at it, it's a very detailed drawing. It shows, it has, the legend's not as well as I would like it to be, because it shows, condos X amount, single family this amount, but it doesn't really, and then it has colors on the map, but it doesn't really say what the colors represent on the map, but it's a very detailed drawing. But the one thing I was lacking, I was going to ask John and Barney to look into to get a second set of eyes, is I was unable to pick up if there was an on-site water sewer treatment facility in any of the drawings. So I'm not sure if that means they're going to be knocking on our door or something.
Well, I mean, they need to build it themselves. That was the
Yeah,
whole
but-
point of
But I would.
entering into an agreement with the town.
Yeah, but I would presume that on the drawing, they would
Yeah.
at least show where they're thinking about putting it.
Well, that would be a
This is a
useful question.
concept, this is the concept plan
Yeah.
anyway that they're looking at. They haven't gone full bore because it
Yeah.
would be too expensive.
Yeah.
So, but you say St. John's has a commercial element as well.
We have a
so-
commercial flex, and it looks like the best I would say was maybe 2 restaurants or something. The St. John's plan looks like it has an access point off of 27 into the commercial location and the single family and townhomes by the Boltler Road. Then there's 46 acres up off of Elijah Road, which is where the park would be. That's residential. And it looks like the access to the park area and the residential is off of Leisure Road up there. It looks like for the senior housing, the main access point will be off of Leisure Road or Elijah Road, or
Have they changed the zoning?
not to my knowledge. They're going to have to change the zoning to get that density for either or.
Well, hopefully all those Butler residents will be attending
Yeah.
this hearing as they attended ours.
I don't think a decision's been made. I think this
No,
is just,
yes,
the
correct.
site, well, the site plan preview, which they asked for.
The commissioners decided not to make a decision until they saw both conceptual plans, and then they'll make a decision as to which one they're gonna do.
Yeah.
So then the full, hearings and stuff will happen after that.
Yeah,
But people can watch it.
But they, right.
Just like we can watch it.
yeah.
So if anyone out there is interested, please go to the Carroll County Planning website so that you can see the plans and also to sit and watch the commissioners about it. And then they will be sending out notifications and post the property when they are going to have hearings on that property.
Yeah, what is this? Already forgot.
The commission meeting is
Thursday, the
Thursday,
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
They really want all those working people to attend their meetings, don't they?
Yeah, they've always, the commission's, I know.
They don't seem to have nighttime meetings.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. Most places don't. The next item is item 5 is the preliminary discussion of a small cell guidelines and standards, setting for the town of Mount Airy. John has nicely put together this small cell infrastructure design guidelines that we're kind of going to look at this evening. Did you put this together, John? You did a good job putting this together.
So, yeah, I reached out to the one that we talked to, Green Village, Colorado, and asked them to forward me their Word and PDF format, and which they did. I complimented them on such a good job, and they were very eager to give me what
Awesome.
they
That's,
had,
hey, that's the way to do it.
and we tailored it towards Mount Airy again. So some of the details.
It's this one, John, right?
Nope. Yeah, that's the same. Yeah, the same group.
Yeah.
This is what it's tailored towards Mount Airy, hopefully.
So what you want us to do is to start to talk about what we want to see or how we want to see these towers.
Well, and really, that's the big question. Currently, the ordinance is in front of the town council, and they're voting on it, and the public hearing is going to be this coming next Monday. So it's just sort of trying to be ahead of the game. So if it does get passed, then we hopefully have some kind of a design guidelines in case somebody comes in and wants to, start installing these in the town. And hopefully, we can get some kind of agreed, and these guidelines, again, would probably go back to town council for final approval once we've done the last draft. So it's just, this is very preliminary. It was sort of getting something together that we can, we'll have to modify, working with the engineering department. Like some of the light details in here are not accurate.
John, several years ago when we started working on MXD, one of the things that proved to be very useful was identifying where there were some examples of it in the area, in the region, and take a road trip or two, individually, of course, to see how, they were utilized in different versions of them and so forth. If possible, it would be useful to do that, with different locations that may already have towers and ones which you feel, have executed them, well, and in the way that the things they have done, are very appropriate.
And again, I know there are municipalities in Carroll County that have done not a great job, and I really don't want to see that occurring here. So hopefully we.
Are there any others in the area that you know of?
Well, I usually only drive north, but I'm going to probably drive to Frederick and maybe Newmarket and see what they might have, any kind of cell towers they might have that are coming up.
I don't know how widely available 5G, I know it's down in the city, in Baltimore City and stuff. I'm not sure how widely available it is out this way. I know I saw one over in Baltimore County, Hunt Valley, that didn't look that hateful, but it was on top of a telephone pole, painted brown, kind of the same color, not as bad, but Westminster is not what we
Well, if
aim
you look
for.
in here, there's examples, I think it was on 17, I think it was.
Yeah, page 17, if you look there, there's an example of an approved small tower
Yeah.
with lighting. And then if you look at page 19, it shows you exactly what is included, for instance, in that little box at the bottom that you can't really see. So you can't, these are hidden, these things are hidden, so you can't see them.
Yeah, 'cause sorry.
So page 12, if you look at that one, you can see where it has a control box halfway up the pole.
Yeah, no, we don't want that.
They'll have a meter unit down at the ground level with a kill box that is locked out. So you have all this
Okay.
abundance of stuff just sitting there that you don't really want to see personally.
Yeah. I think John and I talked about the nice thing about the Greenwood ordinance or Greenwood Village was that they required a vault buried next to it for all the auxiliary equipment to be beneath the ground. So it's pretty much trying to just limit to what you see is on the pole.
We call it concealment.
Concealed it, thank you.
They also talk about clustering, so sometimes you'll have multiple users on one pole. So then you have multiple antennas or multiple infrastructures, and I think, trying to eliminate that clustering is another thing. So it's like, if T-Mobile's here, well, Verizon can have the next pole. We can't have the same pole. So you don't get this stacking, as they call it, of like antennas on top of antennas on top of antennas.
Let's limit the density of it.
Correct.
Does each, what you were saying then, does each service have to have their own 5G poles? Like, does Verizon have to, or are they going to coexist?
I don't know the answer to that. I would ask Barney if, like on our current cell towers, which are water towers, do we have multiple users? Do all those users have their own antenna?
Yeah, they're separate antennas. There's 3 different ones up here on North Main Street. And they have their own equipment down below as well.
Yeah, so I would say the answer is probably yes, is that each one of these towers potentially could only hold one carrier.
Yeah, for as small as these poles are, I mean, I don't know if they can share them or not. I mean, because it will need, a lot of space for such a small area.
Well, is that going to mean we're going to have like poles upon poles upon poles running up the street?
Maybe.
I would hope not.
The current cell system, AT&T, Verizon, they use different frequencies. That's why
Right.
the phones look different, the towers look different. I don't know if there's a standard being set in 5G that they can share equipment because of a frequency commonality. I don't know if that's true or not. I'd have to look that up, or what the intention is. But I think the biggest mistake we can make is not utilizing light poles that we currently have, right? If we have a
Right.
light pole, we should use that light pole as the tower and the light pole, and instead of trying to cram more things that weren't there before into spaces that are, unoccupied now.
That's a great question then. So, okay, we have an existing wooden pole with a metal halide light on it. If they want to put it in, do we have them replace that pole with a metal pole that has all the concealments inside with the same light function with the antenna on top? So they're replacing that wooden pole, which means they have to coordinate with Potomac Edison to be able to have access to remove that pole, to disengage all the wires, to then reinstall a new pole to run all the infrastructure up inside the pole.
Yeah. I mean, they have to be powered, so, it's the power's got to come from somewhere, whether it comes from underneath or above. But I think the biggest mistake we can make is adding more things to the street, to the sidewalk, to an area when we don't need to. If we give it a little forethought about how to consolidate or to,
Place them.
maybe, utilize common resources that are already there, power, space.
Do we know the range of a 5G tower? Like, is it
I got the
1,500
impression-
feet, 2 miles?
I
or-
thought it was very low wattage, so it's like 500 feet from the pole.
Okay.
So it's like every 250 feet, you're gonna have, or another, whatever. you
Yeah.
have- Every 500 feet, you would have a pole.
So unfortunately, we couldn't have
Potentially.
put one on a water tower and have it cover like, the whole east side of town. So it
No,
would
because
be like-
that's, the purpose is smaller jumps,
Tower,
right, for
yeah.
the 5G. Is there do we know of anyone, someone who is familiar with 5G that maybe is in the town, or a 5G expert that we could come and have talk to us a little bit about this? Because I am so totally in the dark, it's not even funny.
I mean, I guess I could try to find somebody, I'm not sure.
I would like to, and I'll put that request out to anyone that's listening. If anyone is familiar with the 5G service and how it works, or you're a part of it, to please call a town or come to our next commission meeting so we can have some further discussion with someone that knows how this system is going to work.
Hey, Roxanne, question. Would you like me to request a hold on the ordinance come Monday, just so we could?
No, I don't think so. That ordinance just, that ordinance just is an acceptance of us being able to do it. Then the other part, the design guidelines have to come after that. So no, don't hold it off.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we weren't going to get two separate documents saying
No.
different things.
I think what we need is if possible, a better understanding of how it does operate, and what the requirements are, and what the planning implications may be as a result.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
And if you can make these available to the council, because they'll probably want to see that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so I can make copies for,
You want my copy?
No.
I don't need it.
Why?
Well, then so he doesn't have to keep making, I'm not going to be spending a lot of time looking at this. It's not my area of expertise.
Oh, okay.
this is the initial draft too, so there's information in here that won't be in the.
Right. No, I understand. But thank you for putting that together with the help of the other place in Colorado. But that's the way you do it. Does anybody have anything else to say about the 5G before we go off of that?
I'm just wondering if we would consider putting security cameras on them as well? Is that something that?
I'll
or
let
would
you
it just
deal
be-
You
with
mean-
that one, Martina.
Security cameras for,
I don't know, like just on the main street
uh,
to protect the
Come up
businesses?
before, the two brothers stuff.
yeah.
What we're talking about, it's like the CCTV.
I mentioned it, it was not well received.
Yeah, no, no,
How all the detectives.
yeah. Let's not go there. Let's let the council decide, make that decision.
It
Anyway,
could
that's
work
how
in
they
the
all find
parks.
It's very public places, not everywhere.
All right,
Like
public,
a main street or a park, I mean, especially if you're a woman walking alone.
Yes,
nice to have
okay.
an eye on you, that kind of thing.
all right. All right. Now, Martina and I were talking, it could potentially work in like a park or something. We've always been discussing about, upgrading the cameras at Watkins and some of the other public parks here in town.
I think
So-
we are working on that right now, I think.
Yeah, but if it's 5G, we could, co-locate the stuff on the towers and things.
Yeah, the problem is a lot of those videos are so low quality that,
Can't see
trying to
anything.
actually,
5G now, baby. Upgrade the
Whereas,
is it like a 16K camera or something, I guess?
That's a town council thing.
yeah,
Yeah. Tailoring this up again, trying to figure out exactly what pole type would work, and maybe it is trying to utilize the existing wooden poles that we have. We don't have any of these fancy metal poles, and in our residential, we have the fiberglass pole with a illuminated top that really is not conducive to putting an antenna on top of it. So if we're replacing them, what are we replacing it with? And that's really what these guidelines should be setting forth, is like, what's the land? And maybe it's worth talking to Potomac Edison. Are they installing something, somewhere else that is, 5G compatible, light? And does it match what we want to put in the town?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Because, I mean, this isn't going to happen overnight, right? one of those things that's going to happen in steps. So I'd rather be ahead of the game than behind the game. Okay, I guess we're going on to our future items.
Can I ask a question? I meant to ask it in things not on the agenda.
Yeah.
And it's for Carl. Can you tell us about the rail trail and why it has a road closed sign?
Bonnie, you could probably, it should be closed mainly due to the fact that they're building a boardwalk there as a stormwater management on this end. I'm presuming they're going ahead with it. I'm not sure why people were walking it
I know
during.
people are walking on it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it said it was closed, so I didn't go on it, but then I
Yeah,
saw it on
I
it.
thought they were moving ahead with it. Are they delayed?
I can give you an update. The road closed signs went up when they were taking some trees down behind the townhouses. I think they took like 5 trees down or something like that. They just didn't come back down, I guess, if they're still up there. Public Works put them up. We did order trail closed signs for the project. And we just learned, the only thing we were waiting on was State Highways approval, because we have a grant through them to award the project, and we just received that, so less than 24 hours ago, so we were able to award that.
So it's going to be building boardwalk on the
We'll be
trail?
building the boardwalk,
Okay.
reestablishing the storm pond that was there,
Okay,
and building the boardwalk over
Right.
top.
great. So it was a timely question.
Yeah, and
Thank
when are we supposed to start? I thought it was supposed to be starting already.
Again, we were waiting for the state
grant.
to confirm that we can award it.
Okay, so we can
The
award.
council, you all had granted that, I think, over a month ago.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe a couple meetings back. But we were still waiting for them. They also have to approve it in order for us to, receive the grant.
Okay, so
Barney,
it will eventually be
originally-
closed for a while.
Yes.
Originally, it was projected for something like a September through January timeframe.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
so,
And while we're on general questions, so is there a estimated time of completion for Chick-fil-A? I know November. I thought at first they said October, but it looks like more to November.
Originally, they had said they were going to start in April. By the time they got all their permits, everything they needed, it was a little late start. They started in May.
Okay.
They were saying they were going to finish in October, so I'm assuming that that might mean November.
Okay,
But I haven't heard any updates as far as a
all right.
firm date.
It's definitely,
See at least 100 people camping out for those.
yeah, for those free
Annual-
Chick-fil-A for life. But they make them do other things while they're camping out. They do service projects and stuff while they're camping out. I didn't know that till someone I knew said that they had camped out at one of the other places, and they don't just stand there and wait, 20 whatever when they're camping out. They do service projects and stuff, which I think is pretty neat.
Don't you have to dress up like a cow too?
yeah,
Yeah, you have to. Yeah,
sure.
I don't know.
I think
Too much for me to do to get Chick-fil-A for a year. Sure.
I think there's certain days for that, and you get something special for it, but.
No, I think you do have to dress up
There's a
cow for
cow,
that.
yeah.
I think for the 100 people, yeah. So Barney, do you know when the road improvements to Main Street would then be taking in effect, or when they potentially will be doing those?
Be coming up very soon.
I would
Yeah,
think so.
I haven't heard for certain, but they've gotten a lot of their site. They've gotten to a point, they said they'd have their roof on before they would start. Now the roof is on, so I would assume that it's coming up very soon. Again, haven't heard from them yet, but probably will.
Okay.
And you're talking about the Chick-fil-A road improvements, not the traffic circle?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, yep.
Okay, so under the future items, we were, the town council received a resolution, a request for annexation for the Rigler property, which is almost 25 acres on the north side of Prospect Road. Yeah, so we will be hearing that resolution at the next meeting, I think, right, John?
That is correct. We need to send out notifications and advertise and sign the property. And
Something in writing that they submitted that we can see? Or is it just like?
No, they have,
Just like
they,
Packet.
well, he'll give it, we'll get it in our packet for the next time.
I think it was part of the town council's
Yeah.
agendas last month, so you can go online and look at it.
I was trying, I haven't looked it up yet. What's their current zoning, do you know?
Ag, I believe. It's
Agricultural.
county zone. I think they want to come in as R2, which is the
R2.
fairly standard
It'll match the existing neighborhood,
neighborhood. So
R2.
there was no site plans or anything included in the packet. It was just like the rough plat for the land. So no clue on what the final design or what they're proposing. Or then I guess R2, the number of houses might be,
It's about 33 houses is what they're proposing,
okay.
over 25 acres.
If we look at the 2013 master plan, is that part of our future annexations, the regular property?
Yes, it was mentioned in 2013.
Yep.
Let's see what we had them coming in as.
That's what I was gonna say.
Well, every other development out there has always come in at R2. Like if you look at Sterling Glen or, my gosh,
Doesn't mean anything. That's the past. This is the present.
the lowest, that's the lowest,
It's the lowest residential we can,
Should would be the lowest.
not a residential, no.
Oh, yes, you can have residential and
and it's
conservation.
3 acres per lot.
That's land use, yeah.
Yeah, but that's a zone. Remember last time?
Apparently, they
Bill?
had a plan under review at Frederick County, and they had 5 lots is what they had previously. Is it with the agricultural zoning in Frederick County? And they're looking to annex into the town and get us access to Windy Ridge Park. So that's it right there, is it?
That is it right there.
What does it say?
I'm looking at the map. Let's see what it says.
Right there, you just pass it right after it. It'll say, future annexation areas, it says, low density.
Low density, okay.
So it's all right.
R2, okay. All right, the next future items are the preliminary requests for the rezoning of the parcels within the town of Mount Airy that have come in to be for the master plan. And I think, John, you said there were 6 or 7 of them?
I got a total of 11 total. Some of those are clustered in the same location.
Right. So what he's going to do is, our next work session is October the 7th at 6 o'clock. So what we're going to do is, he's going to give us the list then, and we're going to kind of put a schedule together for the hearings, because we can't hear all those at one time. Put the schedule together for when they would come for the request to the Planning Commission. So we should actually be finished most of those by the end of the year, is our hope.
January by the latest.
Yeah. And with that being said, there's a master work session on October the 7th at 6 p.m. It's next week. Next Thursday. And the next Planning Commission meeting will be October the 25th at 7 p.m. Does anyone have any other questions about anything, since we're short, running?
I've just got one comment, Roxanne, that just more of an announcement that there's a Board of Appeals meeting, I believe, September 29th at 6 o'clock for the Green Tree property here at Town Hall that will be applying, or there's a request to apply MXUCC overlay to the Green Tree property at the north end of town. So anyone interested in the Board of Appeals, that's Wednesday, I guess, at 6 p.m.
Correct.
It's September the 29th?
9th, yes.
I have to congratulate you on the signs this time, because I rode by there last week and I was like, there's like 3 signs
Yeah.
that said, finally,
Well-
something that we cannot miss.
And well placed, too.
Yes.
I meant,
Very good.
hopefully someone told you at Oktoberfest, I said, mention to John, no, it was the tour, of the Mount Airy and Vision Tour. I mentioned to John because the signs were well-placed and
Thank you, Barney Quinn.
Thank you, Barney.
John told me exactly where to put them.
just that one taped-over
You,
request
John, and
word,
Barney.
that's all.
What time was the request, the meeting, 6 o'clock?
6,
PM? Yep.
yeah.
And that'll be here live in town.
Is it at 6 o'clock because there's another meeting, some kind of a meeting after it?
Yep, we have the nomination meeting at 7 PM.
Okay. Because I do remember seeing in some of the requests that people were having an issue with us having the earlier meetings because they wanted to come and talk, but they couldn't because they weren't home from work or they were just getting home from work. So because there's a meeting after that, I understand, but we should always try to make, especially those types of hearings, at least I wouldn't put them any sooner than 7 o'clock if you can, because people want to come. If people want to come and speak, we always encourage them to send an email if they can't be here. However, some people would want to come and speak in public, so we try to make it as easy for them getting home from work as possible. But I know that our, town hall is always kind of busy, so we have to kind of look.
And you will take email and letter requests for the Board of Appeals and?
Yep. and-
Yeah, you will.
Just want to make that known too.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said. I
Okay.
said some,
Yeah.
All right, any other questions, concerns that anyone has for John or Barney? How is the thing there on Center Street going? How's that happen? What's going on there?
Water main,
Yeah,
it's moving right along. They've got their temporary water main almost 100% ready, and which means they can start digging the old main up and start replacing that. One thing we did learn is that starting at the entrance of Watkins Park, coming this way to about where Beck Drive would, if it were to continue out, connect there. It's already a 12-inch line. We didn't know that, so it's a little savings to have that. But the rest of it, they're going to be replacing down to Cross Street and then also Cross Street.
okay. And also want to remind people, if you're listening, that there'll be 2 public hearings at the October Town Council meeting. One of them for ordinance 2021-17
And 616.
and 16, and also on the. Is there a hearing? No, that was already
Well,
happened.
there are hearings planned on let me get the numbers right, 2021-16, which I believe is the APFO exception of allowing 10% for MXD zone properties. And then that hearing, I believe, is at, say, 6:45, and then there's a hearing at 7 for 2021-17, which is the application of MXD zone to what is referred to as the Beck property. And right now, they are scheduled for hearing and vote the same night.
Okay. What about the Flatiron Building?
Flatiron Building we are having a meeting on that too. Do you remember what time it is?
Yeah, that's a good question, Carl. I'd have to pull up the agenda,
6.
but the draft agenda, I'm not even sure if it was on there, but it has to be.
Well, it had the hearing. You had the hearing, the public hearing,
Well,
right?
Right,
In the regular meeting.
regular meeting.
Regular meeting,
Meeting.
yeah, I mean, there is a meeting, the sign does say there's a meeting on the Flatiron on that day too. I'm not sure if it's a separate hearing or separate meeting or during the normal town council
Public
meeting.
meeting, not a public hearing.
Public meeting where we'll be discussing options of the Flatiron Building. And do you know if those options are online, Barney? Because I know
Yes,
they are,
I
okay.
just saw that today, actually.
Okay, so anyone interested in the, I believe approximately 10 options that will be discussed for the Flatiron Building, the current options are on the town website.
Okay. Anything else?
Should we be expecting these quick meetings from now on? Oh.
Sorry. This just didn't have, we just didn't have a lot on this agenda, but,
Very much an anomaly.
yeah, sorry. Seeing none, seeing no questions or concerns, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. We adjourn the meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed? Okay, great. See you on the 7th. Thank you.
This is what I was looking for. On page 96, it says, the regular property is